No, I mean, for the first time. We totally didn't erase the first one. I mean, I had notes to myself. I was like, okay, you can take out a few of these, and then you can use this other voice that's more click, that's more to the point. Uh, the other voice wasn't. The other voice was staying a little too long at some places. You will understand what I mean. So here we go, one more time.
The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Bob cited. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see huge color red, the Aristocrats. Morty stares for a moment and says, no, it needs more. The Aristocrats, of course, is not just a joke, but a personal development tool. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Andrew Dyson Clay. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see a family standing around on stage. Morty asks, what's the father doing? The performer replies, the father, he's fucking high. As wife in the ass. Morty says, okay. The performer says, then the wife bends down and starts sucking her son's cock. Morty says, alrighty. The performer continues. Then the son puts his hands around his baby sister's head and shoves it up his asshole. Morty says, oh boy. The performer says, then Grandma enters and starts licking the dog's balls. Morty says, a dog too. The performer says, yeah, and then they all throw up on each other and start licking it. Morty says, whoa, whoa, whoa. A minute ago you told me there was a punchline in this joke. The performer says, wait for it, wait for it. The baby sister, she bends over, spreads her cheeks, and takes a huge fucking shit right there on the stage. Morty says, then what? The performer says, well then, the family, the dog, they all do somersaults right through the shit, and they all come up singing. Sings, we are the Aristocrats. Amy Winehouse, a group of rich aristocrats run into a McDonald's on a busy street in Nick, cut in front of everyone else in line. Walk straight up to the counter and order 1 Big Mac to share, 1 large fry to share, and 1 large Coke to share. They then proceed to scarf the food down. When they finish, they begin to perform all manner of sex acts and bodily functions in front of everyone. Just as they're about to finish, a family of very poor street urchins walks into the restaurant, sees them doing all of these things, and they join in and start singing We're All Aristocrats. And he registers, so this guy takes his family into an agent's office. And the agent says, hey, we don't want your kind of people around here. And the guy says, wait a second, hear me out. No, you just get out of here, I'm not interested. Well, we do a show with a family and some little kids, and it ends with a song. Get out of here. No, wait, I'm telling you, it's a good act. No, you get out of here. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm telling you, this is a great act. We go out there and we talk about a little family and how happy we all are, and we sing a song. I say, get out of here. So they leave, and the agent's wife comes out and says, why don't you want to listen to their act? And the agent says, because those aristocrats always want to do that fucking flower girl act. Aristocrats joke, as told by several agents to their families in a multi-splice sequence. So a family walks into a talent agent's office, and the agent says, what kind of act are you? And the family says, this'll really be something you've never seen anything like it before. All we need is a bare stage and 1 chair. And the agent says, what's the act? The family says, we'll show you. Dad sits down in a chair and Mom starts sucking his dick. Then Grandma starts fucking Dad's ass. Then Mom shits on the floor and Dad fucks her in the shit. Then the son bends Mom over, starts fucking her in the ass, and starts eating shit out of her ass. Then the doctor starts pissing on Dad and licking Grandma's snatch. Then the dog walks on stage, fucks Grandma, licks Dad's ass, shits on the floor, and eats it. Then everyone gets in a big circle and sucks each other's cocks and eats each other's asses. And then Dad says, and now for our finale. The family starts building a human pyramid. Dad is on the bottom, and Mom is on his shoulders, and Grandma is on her shoulders, and the dog is on his shoulders, and the son and daughter are hanging, and they're sucking each other's cocks.
More like a
And
totem
then
pole.
the son says, look at me, I'm a birdie. And the daughter says, look at me, I'm a fishy. Then they let go, fall to the floor, and their necks break. And then the dog gets Grandma pregnant, and the son gets his sister pregnant, and Dad gets Mom pregnant, and Mom has a litter of puppies, and Dad has a litter of kittens, and Grandma has a little birdie, and the son has an egg. And the daughter has a two-headed freak that looks like this. Drew Carey is shown. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from J.D. Vance. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see a loving mother and father in their living room. The father's got a great job at the local steel mill. Mom stays at home. When the steel mill closes down, the mother gets addicted to drugs and the father checks out. The family falls apart. The son is being raised by his grandparent. He grows up in the working class, joins the military, becomes a Marine Corps officer, graduates from Ohio State, then from Yale Law School, starts a nonprofit to fight the opioid epidemic in his community, writes a best-selling memoir, and then runs for the U.S. Senate. Morty bursts out laughing. Wow, oh my god, that's fucking hysterical. That's a scream. I haven't laughed this hard since the Kennedy assassination. The son runs for the U.S. Senate, that's brilliant. And then, oh, please tell me there's more. The performer's nodding. Oh yeah, there's a little bit more. After running for the U.S. Senate, the son wins and he becomes a traitor to everything that he says he believes in by voting in line with the rest of the Republican Party 100% of the time. Morty slaps his knee. Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. I gotta clean my shorts after that one. The son becomes a traitor to everything that he says he believes in. That's genius. That's brilliant. The performer looks into Morty's eyes. Is that, like, a good joke? Morty reassures him. Yes, it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's absolutely hilarious. The performer is satisfied. Okay, great. So do you think I can book that somewhere? Morty looks confused. I don't know if you can book that somewhere. What are you talking about? Well, the performer explains. Do you think I can book it somewhere in a Rust Belt? No, Morty admits. You can't book it in a Rust Belt. You can't book that anywhere. What do you mean I can't book it anywhere? You said it was hilarious. Morty replies, yeah, it's funny, but it's not a joke. It's just the story of J.D. Vance's life, okay? The performer's jaw drops open. J.D. Vance? No, my God! Wow, you know, I should have seen that coming. I did. I saw it coming. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Bugs Bunny. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see Dad banging his little girl with no teeth or taint. Movie 01. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Morty says, no problem. All publicity is good. You got legs, right? I got a job that'll fit right in. We got $3 for a job over at Lazy Smirks, Barnum Misunderstandings. You do that kind of thing, right? The performer assures Morty. A close-up shows Morty cowering at his worker bee's personal power. Sweeping backwards reveals his assistant furiously printing bulletins as Jimmy climbs up to the billboard and yells, it's called the Aristocrats. The audience's eyes bleed. The war is just a racket quote, and the same night Hitler kills himself. Audience laughter / Jimmy yells, I'm a cannon, hedge, cheese, boss, smocks, box. At the top of his lungs, the skull pops him in the capuch. He turns to the camera, squinting in the lights. Chuckling casually to everyone present, I watch people kinda lose it. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Richard Feynman. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty poo. This is sandwiched down really well, can't lay on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see a room with a funny looking couch head in a corner, a mailbox from Moscow with French fries on it. There's also a little dragon stuck in a wall, and yellow carpeting and a map of County Sligo hanging on the wall. And Morty says, yeah, what kind of map? The performer says, it's an angle on County Sligo, a view so you can see all the lake towns, Sligo City, and the ocean. So okay, says Morty, a town map. Yeah, town map of Sligo, says the performer. And in the middle of the room, there's a condom as big as a diving suit. Not a zip, just the condom, blown up like a giant cheese puff balloon with potato chip ears. Morty scratches his head and says, wait a minute. A dragon? A room full of potato chip ears and a funny-looking couch. What the hell you talking about? And the performer slams the table with his fist and says, wait, Morty, wait. There's a family on the couch. You know what? Scratch the mailbox. At the beginning, the lights are due. But when we hear music coming in through the closed windows of the room, music in the hall sounds from the street, cutlery, scraping plates. What's this? A funny conversation. I love this part, Morty. Morty waves his hand impatiently. Yeah, and then what? Get to the action. The performer says, so then the mother and father and uncle and sister-in-law and grandmother and everybody gets up from the couch and they walk in single file into the kitchen and walk through the door and are in a park. Imagine a spotlight on a line of people moving in a sinuous snake pattern across the stage. You think that's funny? Morty stands up from his desk and says, come on, let's stop the jokes for a minute and get serious. The performer says, yeah, you're right, it's funny. A brother act. I get in touch with Jerry. See if he wants to back the act. You get that funny couch you're talking about, only we use pillows as people and push them around the stage in between the acts. Jerry's got a bankroll. We could get some costumes mapped, some big fucking balloons and shit like that. Morty says, come on, take a fucking walk with me and see these steam showers at Lenny's. You gotta take a look at this. And they leave together, and outside Lenny's, their famous friend Bernie is riding a bike in the rain, and he yells, hey, you boys on the way to the racetrack? The performer replies, yeah, Morty here wants to see some fucking steam showers first. The friend pedaling backward already. Pulling into the street, laughs so hard he falls off his bicycle. The performer slaps his forehead and says, God, my mouth. Morty, you know who that was. Morty laughs. It was Einstein. Fuck, says the performer. Just my luck. Do you think he heard us? Did you like that? Please share it. Tweet this post to Dell. ICO. Us redig this, share this on Technorati, share this on LinkedIn, post this on Dago related entries. If you isn't joke, I'm fixing to lecture, but first let me ask a rhetorical question. You're all atheists, right? Shocked and offended. No, but I thought atheism is like a belief in something real like God or sandwiches, and most people just don't believe in God because they're weak. Laugh the O. Brain joke, what's the big three situation? You're listening to a mid-range in the Volkswagen Polo when you decide, I've got to get to the Dunkin' Donuts and bury my head in those crullers, or else I'm done, if I just have to stare at these black levels or brightness levels, gamma and. Buddhist joke, when I met Mr. Rogers, I said to him, you know, you were the only adult I wanted to know when I was growing up. For all those years, you made me feel that it was okay to be a child and to stay one even as I was forced to grow up. The great television. Capitalism joke. P. Lovecraft at a cocktail party. I can't help but notice, my darling, that the cut of your dress reveals an adorable portion of your rather luffy cleavage, and I am therefore beginning to surmise that your wealth and upbringing in a stately mansion where you in a Colorado joke. What do you have when you've read everything? Met everyone? The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Pastor Fred Phelps, Westboro B. at this church. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see two guys cradling some 12-year-old fellator in the 69 position. Fellator, that means a homosexual. They're all going 69 on each other. That means a blowjob. That's called a threesome. You ought to write the shit down so you can remember it. Oh, I know it by heart, Morty. Okay, so now enter this other fella who yanks the fellator's hair, forcing him to perform analingus on the other guys. This what? Analingus. That's when you tongue each other's asshole. How can you get that kind of detail done on stage? You can get some high school girls to do it. Those twats will do anything for ecstasy these days. Are you kidding me? Most high school girls are like 16. Then where do you get ecstasy? Morty, I can G. You a kilo of ecstasy in 15 minutes. Goddamn, this guy at my old synagogue keeps bugging me. Hey, let's go over there and get some ecstasy and go fisting together at the gay bar. He's been bugging me for so long, so I finally agree. We get there and the guy pulls out this big Ziploc bag and it's full of ecstasy. And I go, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was this big. I don't have any cash on me to pay for this. He says, you mean you don't have the 5,000 for the ecstasy? Not on me, no. Well, we can't just leave now, I'll tell you what. Can you get the 2,000 for the cigarettes and shit? So we smoke some weed. We go to my buddy's house and drink some beers. Then he says, you want to go fisting? Now I'm thinking to myself, fist? You've never been fisted. Don't go fisting on ecstasy. There's no guarantees in life. But I'm pretty sure that getting fisted on ecstasy is the best thing that ever happens to anyone. So we go over to the Liberty Avenue peep show where you put tokens in a window, and there's this gay N-word smoking a crack pipe, and my friend says, we gotta fucking do that. I said, look, they'll catch us. That's where they look when you're going through. You're supposed to be looking ahead the whole time. He goes, we'll tilt our hats down. So I took the ecstasy and put the pill inside my hat like the Macaulay Culkin guy because everyone knows the 12-year-old who couldn't get a cocaine pill would fucking say why. So we go in there, we put the money down and we're waiting. He goes, is this legit? Because I don't want to put my nose in something if it's not going to do anything. What does it feel like? I said, it's like doing speed, but your legs won't. Cause I don't want to get all fucking tingly on ecstasy. Cause that's what it does, right? Yeah, I know. Where's the fucking ashtray? On your back. Fucking go there. I'm like, I don't want to be leaning down on some ecstasy wearing this and feel like fucking Tinkerbell because of that fucking ecstasy. I got the back. You got the front, okay? So, he goes in and everything. I'm feeling fucking indestructible. The pill's wearing off. Fucking test. I feel like fucking Iron Man. All invincible because of the ecstasy and shit. Then we go over and knock on the N-word-S window. What the fuck do you want? The ashtray! Get the fuck out of here. I don't want any gay-ass crackers up here fucking up my shit. Y'all better leave. I turn to my buddy and go, we're out of here. So, we go back to the stage and finish the joke. Like, perform it on stage. I don't know what he's talking about. For later and shit. Hey, let's go over there. God, I am so fucking high right now, so fucking high. Note from God. This is a true story. What? Who do you think funded the construction of the Akashic Records? This N-word, right here. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Gandalf the Grey. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see a family in their front room. There's Dad all drunk and ornery, and he looks at his kids on the floor playing with Legos and other stuff, and he says, kids, when I wake up, yo's better be eating off each other's assholes. How's that sound, Morty? Morty grumbles. You telling me you're serious here, son? The performer puts his hands up. Wait a minute. So the kids go. Come on, Dad, we ain't doing it. Dad goes, but I got a good reason, kids. Yeah, what reason? Dad says, 'cause of all the filth and corruption and vice and perversion of Mordor, and especially Sauron, the Dark Lord of Mordor. Oh, the kids say. Well, maybe it ain't so bad. You mean we get to have all our physical, sexual, and emotional needs gratified at the expense of our bourgeois upbringing, parental repression, and inherent inhibitions? Dad says, you bet. Let's eat out our assholes. The kids say, can you give us a few minutes to say goodbye to the orcs and stuff? Sure thing. Thanks, Dad. And they hug. The boy says to the girl, well, I can certainly see the thematic connections between what they're talking about and certain inherent inconsistencies in Freudian doctrine. Though, if we want to talk about history rather than Freud's universal tendencies, we have to wonder about certain links between the corrupt influence of Mordor and the evils it has created through its systems of repression. The girl says, oh, you talk too much. And they all start filleting one another as hard as they can while singing America the Beautiful. Finally, Mom comes in and says, you wipe out each other's assholes. And Dad says, lick 'em clean. And Mom's all happy. Curtains bend. So how's that sound, Morty? Morty scratches his chin. Well, I don't know. It's certainly long enough. I think you might do some work with the pacing, but overall the theme comes across pretty well. Right. That's the thing. We could tweak the scene and the dialogue and come up with some kind of structure. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Sister Wendy. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I go, "Tea, an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass." Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and here I am, dressed as a priest. I say to the audience, I would like you all to welcome a very special lady on the stage tonight. Her given name was originally Robert Collins until one summer morning before his wife came back from Cancun. He finally decided to let his freak flag fly. And fly he did, from B. Beautiful Caitlin to even more beautiful Stacy, and even though Stacy may not look like you or me, she taught me the beauty of the Everman, and that no matter how strained or unfamiliar someone may look, God doesn't judge, and neither should we. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mrs. Stacy Collins. Then Stacy comes out and takes her lap around the audience. Once the audience warms up to her, I gather them around for a special live recording of the PTL Club. Now, Morty, this is where it gets interesting. The performer says, everything seems fine and dandy for the first 5 minutes. Stacy recites her normal lines, not to any fanfare but with enough of a cadence that everyone understands and can relate to. Then Stacy becomes discombobulated. Her lines were now coming through more choppy, and she became more and more flustered, and then just barely makes the scene, where we perform the act of a communal prayer. Here the audience goes wild. They applaud in astonishment. They cheer because I have given them something real. I have made them see the beauty of the freak. And then Morty, at the final moments of the act, when the scene appears to be over, that is when I give the ultimate spit in the eye of the coup de grace. I stand up from our prayer and say the words that have plagued stand-up since the beginning, the censored words of America, the crown jewels of taboo. Do you know what those words are, Morty? No. Skeleton pizza party, because it is just that crazy. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Jesus Christ. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and out run Dave and Velma boom. Penetrate. Morty gestures. Go on. So Velma bites her finger deep, pushes the blood into his urethra, just jugs that in the meat just like a Ford full of bitches. A baboon runs in his harness, pull out the turn of shit, shove that in her throat. So he looks up and cries out while I shove balls deep a glass chest rook. And for the grand finale, they jump up with a babe tree, rip off a heavy wad, and berate them while the lovers rub their interiors against the green curtains. Ladies and gentlemen, the Aristocrats. Gene Simmons' voice. They don't get it. I gotta be honest. I had a couple of mustaches growing above my neck.
And that's it. And that's it. Much better. Shaved off 10 minutes. Shaved off a few of the not so strong ones, and we have it. All right, in the can.